saloons to graveyards where evil sleeps, they walk amongst secrets they keep. Nightmare hunters with souls ablaze, cleaning up this town through the dark haze. Of the night with eyes of red, vampires in the alleys where good men dread, wolfmen howling beneath the pale moon, but justice is coming and coming soon. From saloons to graveyards where evil sleeps, they walk among us, they keep. Nightmare hunters with souls ablaze, cleaning up this town through the dark haze. Cryptids themselves, yet they stand tall against the darkness, answering the call for every lost soul, every whispered prayer. They fight for the light in the midnight air. Dark haze. The night is young, the hunt begins. For against the darkness where hope never ends.
Good morning or evening or whatever part of the world you're in. Thank you all for joining us tonight on the Nightmare Hunters Podcast presents Monday Mayhem. Sorry we've been gone a little bit. I had some computer issues and then I was sick. So we missed a couple of shows, but we are back and we're going to be jumping right back in where we left off. In the house with me tonight is Robby Jed Rains, back off his whirlwind tour of the world with his brand new release. If you guys have not picked it up yet, you guys need to. You are missing out if you haven't read this new one. And I just now remembered I haven't updated it in this studio, so I need to go back and fix the new book in this one as well. But Robby, how the heck are you, brother?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm good. In fact, while I'm grabbing that link and fixing the update, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about that new book? Maybe even read the back cover blurb.
I don't know. I don't have a copy of that one yet, so I don't. Unless you
have the back cover blurb.
I may have it. Hold on, let me check. Anyway, while I'm looking for that, this is the new one is called Wild Hunt Shadow Hunters Project Manticore, and basically it is about.
Dude, the cover is badass.
Yeah, she did a really good job on that one. The basic premise of this one is, when DA started the Wild Hunt series, he already kind of laid the groundwork for the Wild Hunt is pretty much all over the country, and it's in different divisions, which most of the stories so far have taken place with the Midwest division, with Clark and Gideon and all those. Some of the Midwest division have showed up in other books. And there's been mention of the East Coast division and I believe the Alaskan division, right, DA?
Mm-hmm. West Coast division showed up in Operation Blood Eagle, and then kind of got mentioned again in a few other times. In fact, Sentinel came from the West Coast division.
Yep. I might have to pull it up off the. I can't find it on the computer, but I'll pull it up off of my Amazon here. But So anyway, obviously y'all know the situation with Ouroboros and the things that they've been doing. They're doing things all over the world, not just in the Midwest. They're behind stuff that you've read in Grail. They're behind stuff that you've read in Dark Frontiers, or behind stuff that you've read in Shadow Walker series. They pretty much have been behind everything that has been going bad. So found the back cover blurb. So let me read this to you right quick, and then if you got any questions, I'll go over with you. Some monsters are created, others are unleashed. When unexplained massacres ripple across a remote corner of the world, the Wild Hunt's most secretive division is activated. Led by battle-hardened veterans and bound by oaths older than nations, the Hunt is accustomed to facing the impossible. They are not prepared for what waits in the dark, as a creature born of forbidden science and ancient myths begins its rampage. The Hunt is forced into a race against time, tracking a beast that learns, adapts, and kills with terrifying efficiency. Every engagement costs blood. Every mistake brings the end closer. For Lieutenant Colonel Jace Constance, the mission becomes personal when his nephew, Kurt Becker, is drawn into the fight, awakening something buried deep in his bloodline. What begins as a battle for survival becomes a reckoning, forcing the Hunt to confront not just the monsters they face, but the price of becoming what's needed to stop it. Behind the carnage, unseen hands move with purpose. The Manticore was never the end; it was only the test. Wild Hunt Shadowhunters Project Manticore is a brutal, fast-paced blend of military action, supernatural horror, and mythic warfare, where victory is never clean, survival is never free, and once the hunt begins, there's no way back. So, to break it down, Rick's little brother is Lieutenant Colonel Jace Constance. This is his half brother, and Rick did not know this when everything started in Shadowhunters or Shadow Walkers, obviously, but he is part of the Wild Hunt. And if you remember in Avalon Rising, Rick's kids were actually targeted by Ouroboros, and Kurt, who is Rick's son, gets brought into the Wild Hunt by his uncle Jace. And Fredericks needs to get eaten. Yeah, everybody hates Fredericks, but that's good. I want everybody to hate him. That's why I wrote him that way. He's a pompous little jerk, and people want him to die, but maybe he does in this one. Maybe he weasels away again. You just have to get the book to find out. As a matter of fact, DA was the first one to tell me. He says, "Dude, that guy needs to get killed."
I did.
So, yes, there's the cover, and that the issue is fixed on the ebook now. The cover showing up. So, yeah, Luca does a great job on our covers.
And there's the cover and the link.
And
so grab yours today.
And the combat patch, that's the East Coast Division's version of the Wild Hunt patch.
Yeah, that's an awesome book, dude. And I hope it sells like crazy.
Well, I do too. I hope it's going to be a good one.
It's already starting to pick up some reviews.
I hadn't even checked it because I've been working on doing formatting for Doc's books. I haven't even checked it, so that's news to me.
You're in the top 100 in 2 categories.
Yeah, cool.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I enjoyed writing this one. And that's one of the things that you always told me is, if you don't enjoy the book, nobody else is going to.
Exactly.
And I really had fun writing that one. I think at first I was having a little too much fun with it because DA had to tell me, he's like, "Look, dude, I know what this stuff means. I know you know what it means. Doc's gonna know what it means, but there's a lot of people might not know what this stuff means. You got to rein in the military and law enforcement stuff."
That's why I use a lot of footnotes, especially when I get descriptive.
I use more footnotes in this one than I have in all my other books combined, including Howl the Night Wolf, which, you know, was a lot of Scottish dialect in there.
But, you know, the thing is about the Scottish dialect, I only really noticed it for like the first chapter. Yeah. After that, it was just like, I just kept right on reading. I got it.
Rodney said the same thing. He was like, because, you know, Rodney's one of my Wolfpack readers too. And that's why he said the first couple edits that I sent to him or sent out to y'all, he'd sit back something, man, this Scottish dialect thing it's hard. He said, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to finish this one. I don't know if I'm gonna like this one. And about the third or fourth one, he was like, scratch that. I know I got it now. It's good. I'm like, good. I was hoping that would happen that way. I just felt like, you know, I've told you this. I just felt like if I was going to write that book based in that time period, that it would be an injustice to have them talk like we talk nowadays. I felt like they needed to have that for, you know.
Yeah. Angela Monroe says, I'll finish it tonight. It's really good, Robbie. There you go. So there you go, brother. You're already starting to get some really good feedback on it.
Well, good. I'm glad people are liking it.
Heck yeah, why wouldn't they? It's a good book.
Well,
very solid entry into the field, brother.
You know how I always feel about my stuff. I don't ever feel like it's. I always feel
I've
like
said many times, you sell yourself short. You don't give yourself enough credit. It's a good book. It's a damn good book.
Well, I had a good teacher.
I don't know about all that.
Telling me I'm selling myself short. Y'all listen to him.
I'm just a hillbilly from the Ozarks.
And
I word good.
And I'm just a redneck from the hills of South Carolina. So what's the difference?
Well, the real difference is, right at this particular moment, is I have a 100-pound fart machine laying right next to me about to kill me.
Oh, Harley.
He's snoring and farting at the same time. I'm surprised the mic hadn't picked it up.
It's releasing from both ends.
Yeah. Gonna have to put a flapper valve on him so he doesn't deflate. Tammy says she's reading Luca's book right now, and then she's going to read yours. Well, awesome. Yeah. And yeah, don't forget to check out Luca's books. Luca's a fantastic author in her own right, and a fantastic artist. Just an overall awesome lady. And her books would easily just fit right into the universe we're working in. So, yeah, I think you'll enjoy them.
Y'all wait till you see the cover for Doc's book. She knocked that one out of the park.
It's pretty badass.
He sent that text to us this morning. I looked at that and I was just like, or yesterday, whatever he sent it to us, I was like, oh my God.
I'm dying to show it off on the show, but I won't do it without Doc here.
No. But it's really good. And I'm just about done with formatting on his book, so I can get it back to him. He can get it to Lucas. So hopefully, in the next week or two, his book will be ready to come out.
Well, if you've got it formatted and she gets the cover finalized, it could feasibly be out by late this week.
I don't know if he's got all his KDP stuff done and all that stuff. That's why I say it.
Well, that can be done in an afternoon if one of us walks him through it.
I don't want to say, it's ready to be done tomorrow. Things happen and it just takes him a little bit of time. So
that, and Doc works full time and doesn't have a lot of time. Well, you're ready to jump back into
let's get
Gideon the Undying.
Let's get back to Gideon.
All right, well, I'm going to roll back.
Is how he's the reason for all our characters.
Yeah, kind of. I'm going to roll back and start reading at the beginning of chapter 9, and then we will pick up right where we left off. So chapter 9 is called Road to Perdition. 21 Martius, Caledonia. It was nearly nightfall when they broke for camp. It had been nearly a week since they'd marched. I don't like that. I use nearly twice in two sentences. Okay, almost. I just caught that when I read it. It was nearly nightfall when they broke for camp. It had been almost a week since they'd marched north into Caledonia, and nothing had gone the way they'd planned. There were no tribesmen waiting to attack them, no signs of anything, human or animal, to speak of. Something about this march felt cursed, and they were all beginning to feel it. "Claudius," called Gideon, I would speak with you. Claudius left his cohort and joined Gideon near the edge of camp. Everyone around them was busy erecting crude defensive positions and setting up their tents. Most were oblivious to the woods around him. "What is it, Primus?" asked Claudius. Gideon scowled at him. "Save that for when the troops are near," Gideon said. "I called you over here to see if you notice anything." "Like what?" asked Claudius. "I don't hear anything." "That's exactly my point," said Gideon. "We should hear something, but this silence is unnerving." Claudius listened for a moment, removing his helmet to hear more clearly. After a moment, he turned back to Gideon. "I see what you mean," whispered Claudius, lowering his voice conspiratorially. "We're being watched," Gideon said softly. "Something deep in the trees observes us with fevered eyes. I can feel it." "Should we alert the legatus?" asked Claudius. "What's the point?" asked Gideon. "He's so overconfident in the Legion that he cannot see the danger he's put us in." "Do you expect an attack?" asked Claudius. "I always expect an attack," replied Gideon, "and so should you." "What do you suggest?" asked Claudius. "We double the guard tonight," Gideon answered, "and keep the patrols moving. No static guard posts." "As you command," Claudius said, snapping a crisp Roman salute. "Robert, thank you for the super chat." What's that say?
Was on Dano's podcast, by the way, the Cryptid podcast, CA.
Awesome. Now, where was I? As you command, Claudius said, snapping a crisp Roman salute. "Stop that," Gideon snapped. "Enemy archers will target those they believe to be in charge." "Of course," replied Claudius. "My apologies. Do you think this will be the end of this march? We haven't found any sign of the enemy." "I do not know," Gideon replied honestly. "That will be up to the legatus. I just hope he comes to his senses before there's no legion left to command." "And you believe this to be possible?" asked Claudius, surprised. A legion trapped without reinforcements can be cut off and destroyed," Gideon said darkly. "I've seen it happen before in Germania." "You were there for that?" asked Claudius, surprised. "That was so long ago." "That isn't the only time a legion's been ambushed, Claudius," Gideon said, changing the subject. It suddenly occurred to him that he had no way to have been at a battle that happened over 100 years ago, and Claudius would figure out something wasn't right if he didn't distract him. My father fought at the battle you mentioned," Gideon said. "He was one of the few survivors." "I'd love to hear the story sometime," Claudius said. "Perhaps when this is all over," Gideon said. "Until then, we must keep our minds focused on our own precarious situation." "Any further instructions?" Claudius asked. "Get those patrols organized and get in the guard schedule posted," Gideon replied. "I'll go brief the legatus for all the good it will do." From deep within the shadows of the woods, 4 creatures crouched in silence, waiting, watching for their chance, for any sign of weakness. They could smell their prey. It was a mixture of sweat, leather, and steel. Although they knew that one-on-one they were more than a match for any of the legionnaires. The problem was that the legion fought as a single unit, and the shield wall would be difficult to overcome. "When do we attack?" growled one of the creatures. "When I say so," snarled the biggest one. He was a massive beast, nearly 10 feet tall and covered with thick black fur. It was nearly as dark as the shadows around them. "Of course, Taven," whined the smaller male. "I meant no disrespect." "Because you're weak," hissed the female that stood next to Taven. "Mishka is right," said the third male mockingly. "Shut up, Aofi," snapped the second male. "You're just a bootlicker." "Better than what ye lick, Bryn," snapped Aofi. "Shut it!" snapped Taven. "If the two of you give away our position, I'll gut you both." The one called Mishka smiled darkly, then leaned in close to Taven. She was the alpha female and wanted to make sure they never forgot that. "Where are the others?" asked Taven. 6 lie in wait outside the far side of the clearing. 6 lie in wait on the far side of the clearing," said Aofi. "Another 4 to the south and 5 to the north. We got them surrounded." "They should be easy kills," whined Bryn. "I'm hungry." "Soon," rumbled Taven. "If we rush too soon, it'll be our pelts adorning their spears, not the other way around. And they still outnumber us heavily." "I want man flesh," growled Aofi. "I'm tired of deer." "And man-flesh you shall have," said Taven, "but only after we soften their defenses. Attacking too early will be our downfall." "Their weapons cannot hurt us," Bryn said angrily. "We're too strong for them." "Yet they managed to kill some of our brothers on the road," Taven reminded him. "There are some among them who do not fear us, but they will learn." Taven nodded, and they all faded back farther into the shadows of the forest. Once they were clear, Taven turned around and grabbed Bryn by the nape of the neck and slammed him against a tree. "Challenge me again," he snarled, "and I'll rip you apart with me bare hands." Bryn tried to speak, was held fast by Taven's glare. He saw the malice in his feverish yellow eyes, felt the power of his grip, and knew the truth of his words. Taven would kill him without a second thought. "Of course," whined Bryn. "No offense was meant." "See to it you don't forget this lesson," snapped Taven. "The next one comes in blood." Bryn lowered his head in submission, but he was already thinking of ways to take on Taven. If he were Alpha, he'd do things differently, and Mishka would be his. He needed to bide his time and wait for the right moment to strike. With one powerful motion, Taven threw Bryn across the clearing and into a pine tree. It snapped the tree 3 feet off the ground and sent the smaller wolf creatures sprawling into the trees. Taven turned and walked away without another thought, not seeing the hate-filled eyes that watched him go. Gideon walked up to the command tent where the Legatus Legionis rested. It hadn't been a particularly difficult march today, and the Legatus had been on horseback, yet he was still tired from the day. Just one more indication that he was too soft to lead a legion. Gideon cursed the day he'd been assigned to this incompetent command. Gideon nodded to the 2 guards as he ducked low and entered the large pavilion-style tent. Inside, he found the Legatus and the Tribunus were already eating their evening meal. Gideon frowned in contempt. True leaders made sure their troops were fed before they saw to their own needs. "Ah, Quintus," said the Legatus, "what news do you bring?" "Our scouts have seen no sign of the gathering of the tribes," Gideon said without preamble. "In fact, we haven't seen so much as a bird all day. Something isn't right." "You worry too much, Quintus," said the Tribunus, stuffing a large chunk of roast pheasant into his mouth. Gideon had the sudden mental image of punching him in the throat, but thought better of it. "This is the Legio 9 Hispania," said the Legatus. "We have nothing to fear from these savages. They are no doubt hiding from us until we leave the area." "I believe they watch us from the woods," Gideon said, fighting hard to keep the anger from his voice. "They've been watching us for days." "Then why haven't they attacked, Quintus?" demanded the Tribunus. "They fear us. Now sit and eat. Rest your worried mind and quench your thirst with a cup of wine." Gideon frowned. He knew drinking in the field was a bad idea. "I'll stick to Posca," Gideon said, nodding. "Thank you. I still have a lot of work to do before I settle in for the night. Defenses to inspect and sentries to post." "As you wish, Quintus," replied the Legatus. "Is there anything else?" "No, sir," Gideon replied. He might have said sir, but that wasn't what he was thinking. "Very well," said the Legatus. "See to the troops, then. You may return and dine with us later, if you wish." "Thank you," Gideon replied, and then turned and ducked back out of the tent. Once outside, he smelled the cooking fires that the cohorts had started to cook their evening meals. Their mixture of barley, oats, dried meats, and berries was a far cry from the lavish meal the Legatus and the Tribunus were enjoying, but still. Gideon found he'd rather dine with the troops than remain any longer inside the pavilion with men he didn't respect. Gideon thought about joining the cohorts, but decided to walk the defenses first. Nothing could be left to chance, or they would undoubtedly find themselves in dire straits. Any weak point could be exploited, and weak points meant lives lost. Since they were weeks away from reinforcements, they only had themselves to count on. Gideon walked around the entire encampment, checking defenses, inspecting fortifications, and giving encouraging words where needed. He was happy to see that the lax discipline that had been in effect prior to his arrival had been replaced with the calm professionalism of the trained legion. That would make all the difference when the fighting began. Gideon paused at a fire near the western defensive line and crouched down to warm his hands. The men looked up, surprised to see the Primus Pilus himself joining them. "Can we offer you a drink, sir?" asked one of the men. Gideon thought for a moment and recalled his name. "Thank you, Marcus," Gideon answered. "Posca, if you have it." "Pour the Primus Pilus a drink," said Marcus. Gideon accepted the cup and took a long pull of the bitter yet somehow refreshing drink. "Are you hungry?" asked another legionnaire. "Thank you, but no," Gideon answered. "I have a lot of work yet to do before I break to eat." "Anything we can help with, sir?" asked Marcus. "Just remain vigilant," Gideon answered. I believe we are being watched as we speak." Of course, sir, said Marcus. We will not fail you. Of that I have no doubt, Gideon replied. We are too far from the citadel to let our guard down. This is a dangerous place we find ourselves in. Do not get complacent. We will fight and die beside you, sir, said another legionnaire named Crispus. I would be honored to fight and to die beside you all, Gideon replied. Blood and honor, gentlemen. Blood and honor, they replied in unison. Gideon finished off his polska and returned the cup before standing up and heading off into the darkness. The men waited for him to get out of earshot before speaking. For the first time since I've been with the Knights, said Marcus, we have a leader that I truly believe would fight at our side. He's a good man, added Crispus. I wish the others were like him. Here's hoping he's enough to get us home, added another legionnaire. I've had dark dreams since we began this journey. I fear our fate is cast into darkness. And that is where we're going to have to start up. I'm going to have to get this ready so I can share the screen. What do y'all think so far? Robby?
I think we're right on track.
I think so too.
I think it's about time for a encounter.
Oh, it's definitely time for a fight. So, comments, questions, anything? This is meant for all of y'all who are listening. Robert McGo says should have written instead of a bird, not even a crow all day. I might have to go back and fix that, but I like that suggestion. Gotta find it.
Would they have called them crows or ravens back then, though?
Probably ravens. And in the Middle Ages, ravens and crows were known to follow marching troops because they knew there was going to be carrion.
Yep.
So that makes much more sense. Thanks, Robert. And Tammy says, yes, encounter time. Get a little sippy sip of my coffee, and then we'll get started. Okay. Northwood says Gideon needs to slip prune juice into whatever that guy's drinking. Don't worry. If it's the one I think you mean, he's probably going to crap himself as soon as the fighting starts anyway. Curtis Murray says monster or man. Well, they're surrounded by monsters, so probably going to be monsters. Get a little bit more caffeine there, and then we'll get started.
We're going to start a new chapter with this, or are we going to continue this chapter?
We're only like four pages into this chapter. Let's see. This chapter starts at page 87, and we're only on 94, so we're like 7 pages in. But it's still a little shorter than I usually make chapters. Not so short that I couldn't end it here.
I was just curious if we were going to, because if we were, we need to kind of think about a title first. But if we're going to just carry it on in right here, then that's fine.
Yeah, we'll probably get things at least set things up for the next chapter. But yeah, I want to go a little bit further with this one. All right, bear with me while my fingers remember how to type.
Long Queen says, should a wolf appear as a man or woman to test the reactions and defenses?
I was thinking something along those lines. Okay, what am I doing wrong? How do you spell porridge? There we go.
Oh, I thought there was an A too. I was like, what is it? What's wrong with it?
Yeah, I'm like, come on now. Well, I thought I was spelling that right, but apparently I was way off.
I thought it was rage instead of ridge, but oh well.
What, that makes no sense. Why would it be ladled himself with? Do you see that?
I can't see it say with, but I know how.
How
Is that
Microsoft?
I was about to say, is it Grammarly or Microsoft?
It's Microsoft that's making the suggestion. I thought he stooped by the fire and ladled himself a bowl of the thick porridge and took a seat. But Microsoft Word is like highlighted. Well, you see what it's got highlighted, but it says should be, instead of ladled himself with. What did he grab a ladle and just dump it all over himself?
Yeah, I mean, that's how they ate the porridge back then, apparently.
Yeah. Sometimes Microsoft Word, it has no clue what it's talking about.
Microsoft weird.
Yeah, Microsoft weird for sure.
Robert says you left out word between groups by the fires, brother, and while they're chunking aside for their naked pride.
Oops. How's that? How's that chapter? Does that read better?
Yeah.
Okay. I need a Roman name. I was gonna put Paulo, but that's more Spanish than Roman.
So I guess the Spaniards wouldn't have been there at that point.
Probably not. I mean, Spain had been conquered by this point, but this early in, they really weren't really conscripting conquered people into the legion. So, somebody give me quick, y'all! Somebody give me a Roman name.
And y'all, it's not cohorts I, it's cohorts Roman numeral 1.
Correct. Maybe I should fix that. That way, there's no confusion. It'd be easier to tell if it was like cohort 4.
Yeah.
Or cohort 8. It'd be easier to tell, but when it's just cohort 1, I guess it probably would throw, especially spell check or Grammarly, give it an apoplectic fit as it tried to figure out what I was trying to say.
Yeah, I was just explaining to them that it wasn't cohort I, as in cohort 1, as in Roman numeral 1.
Don't worry, Robert. I mean, any writer worth their salt will tell you that every new page, every new paragraph, every new word written is a learning process. Because if you're not learning, Well, you're just planning to keep writing crappy books. You got to constantly study and learn your craft. Oh, I like Titus. There we go. We'll go with that. Oops, not there. Hey, what?
What's up, White? Miss Karen said, you said we should sleep lightly. You've got Gideons instead of Gideon.
Oh, good catch.
Thank you, Miss Karen.
Thank you, ma'am.
bring to life.
Nice catch. Thanks.
Yep.
I do this all the time when I write. But I will go back and read the paragraph when I'm done and went. I do that all the time. I'll spell the word right, but it's completely the wrong word. So Microsoft misses it 9 times out of 10. Grammarly usually does, but I'm not keeping Grammarly active. Active while we're writing this. The reason being for that, folks, is if Grammarly was active, I would be doing more fixes than writing and probably getting demonetized from all the cussing. Grammarly is a pain in the butt, but it does a good job. You've just really got to slog through it, though.
Yeah, that's true.
What is the command? Should I do footnotes or let the context explain it?
I mean, you know what you told me, and not everybody's gonna know it. So,
Well, yeah, this is Latin, so unless they speak Latin,
yeah, you've got me into the habit of doing footnotes. So, if you're gonna ask me, I'm gonna say, yeah, you need to. But you could just do one right at the end of Unos and explain all 3 of them.
actually, that command would be better if it was.
Did you mean to call Gideon Quintus? Miss Karen was
No,
asking.
that was intentional. He's Quintus's he's Gideon's right hand. Remember earlier Gideon had Quintus set up his cohort next to Gideon's.
But she was saying, was that not what Gideon's name is in this that everybody knows him by?
Oh yeah, so it was Claudius, not Quintus. That's a good catch.
I thought that's what you meant at first, but then I was like, well, maybe he was just.
Yeah, you're good catch.
I had to think about it a second before I even said anything, because I was like, but and Miss Karen called it, not me. I just voiced it. Yes, din, D-I-N is what they say. The din of battle is the sound. D-I-N is another word for sound.
Sorry, I was getting a little wordy. It was a short word, so I can't really say I was channeling my inner Doc.
I've had to listen to a lot of inner Doc channeling today.
Whoops. I'll just do one for all of it.
I was just about to ask if it was coming.
I think that was how it's spelled.
I think so.
It was with an I. I was wrong. I think that's a good spot to stop the that particular chapter. Insert page break. Okay, so what chapter was this called? Oh, what chapter was this? I mean, chapter 9. So we'll get ready to start chapter 10. Hey, that's pretty good. 11 pages. Well, 10 pages, right at 10 pages for the chapter.
Yep, that's good. Nick's got a question. Says, what would happen if any of the Legionnaires were bitten by these creatures and made it out alive? Have we thought of that?
That's a good question. But these aren't true werewolves. These were changed in the ritual, remember? So I don't think they could turn anybody, at least not yet. Okay, we need a chapter title.
Are we going back to Reagan and his boys heading that way?
Hey, that's a good idea. Let's go back to Reagan.
Because they left out to come find them. So
Right. What do you guys think? Got any
could do something like Ride to the 9, since they're coming to the 9th Legion. They're coming to the 8 of the 9th Legion. Simple and punchy.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
If nothing else comes up there. I'm just saying.
Tell me what you think of this.
I like the short titles anyway, so that's pretty good.
What do you guys think? Blade Song just popped into my head. Arlen, you're right. The steel does sing, especially in battle. When it rings against one another, be it against another blade or a set of armor. We're rapidly approaching 25,000 words on this project.
Yep.
Robby,
Yes, sir.
I hate to do this to you, brother, but can you? I don't know. Talk about something. Talk about your book. Talk about Doc's book. Talk about something. But I have got to step away for just a minute. My diuretic is kicking me in the. Well, it's kicking me somewhere. I'll be right back.
All right, go ahead. So I don't really want to talk about Doc's book because that's his place to do. I will say that it's really good, and I think y'all are going to like it. But I've been doing the edits on it, or not the edits, but the formatting on it. So, y'all got any questions about anything we've done so far tonight? Yes, and for Arlen, that's for anybody that doesn't know that we are going to take the proceeds from this book, and they're going to go to probably to Valhalla and the Wounded Warrior, not the Wounded Warrior, but the 22 a Day Foundation. Yes, we're still in Caledonia. Yes, Arlen, that my new book hit last week, I believe. It's called Wild Hunt Shadow Hunters Project Manticore. It's about the East Coast division of the Wild Hunt. And he's back.
I'm back. I got a brief reprieve. Farty McFly went in the other room.
Farty McFly.
Ooh. Ooh, let me catch my breath a second. Ugh. So, Arlen says we need to do. What are you ordering?
I think he said something about my book.
Oh, okay.
Probably what he's talking about.
I missed quite a bit of conversation here. Karen, yeah, they would within a day's ride or two. They probably would be in Caledonia. Because remember, the Citadel Eberacum was right on the line, right where they would eventually build Hadrian's Wall. So basically, just north of them became Caledonia. Nick said, "Hey, I was messing around with Audible. It let me buy your books. I was happy for that. That's awesome, dude. Thanks." Northwoods, no, Harley hasn't had any baked beans, but that doesn't stop him. That dog can turn dog food into methane pretty fast. At least Noah's learned his lesson. He doesn't give the dogs deviled eggs anymore. That was quite bad, I can assure you.
Self-correcting error.
Yeah, well, he was little. He didn't know any better, but by God, he learned. That dog. It was our actually. We had both the mastiffs at the time, and he fed both of our mastiffs boiled eggs, and those dogs rendered that house practically uninhabitable for like 3 days. Hey, Brett. I just noticed Brett was here. What's up, dude?
What's up, Brett?
Arlen says it's a good thing you don't smoke DA. That's a fact. One strike of the lighter, and I'd blow this back part of the house back into the backyard. Northwoods, you're right. Feeding dogs deviled eggs would be mop 4. Okay, so all right. This chapter goes back to Reagan and the others. So, what do we want to accomplish with this? How do we want to start this out? Do we want to start out with them on the road, in a camp, in a battle? What do you guys think? We did just finish a battle, but it was kind of brief and intentionally so. But you'll see why.
Well, they were already talking about last time we were with them. They were already talking about going over there, so I think they at least need to be in camp or something like that. They should have already been on the road.
Nick Boris says, my grandfather had a Jack Russell. After I was done wargaming, I would drop my stuff off, pick up the dog, and go get White Castle. Giving a dog White Castle ought to be a crime against humanity. That's a bad idea. White Castle always has a bad effect on me. I can't imagine what would have an effect on a dog. Isabel says it's a Groundhog Day. Huh, I didn't know that.
Yep, February 2nd. I think he saw a shadow, too, if I remember hearing it correctly.
What's that thing's name? Puxatawny Phil or something like that?
Puxatawny Phil, yep.
Well, I guess having a groundhog check the weather couldn't be any more accurate than what Doc likes to refer to as the four guessers.
What are you doing up there, blinking? Guessing. I guess no one's coming.
No, I didn't say Abe Lincoln. Why would I say Abe Lincoln?
I said, hey, blinking.
Dang you, Robby. Now I got to watch that movie again. I'm on the East Bank. I'm on the West Bank. This ain't exactly the Mississippi.
I'm on the left side. I'm on the right side. And why not? We worked in Blazing Saddles.
A chew, son of a sneeze. Arlen says they get to the Citadel and find Gideon and the cohorts gone. That's a good, because they would have no way to know that Gideon and them marched north. That's a good idea. So instead of Caledonia, we need to put that. Hold on, I need to go back up because I can't remember how to spell Abarakam. You know, that's the trouble with trying to be correct on your spellings and on your historical notes, is because some of this stuff is not easy to spell, especially when you're dealing with other languages like Latin or in your case, medieval Scottish.
Yeah.
That becomes the hardest part about it, is staying in the character of it. Trying to think of where I want to start.
Northwood said Harley's Latin name is Flatius Maximus.
You're not wrong. Flatulus Maximus.
I read that, knew it, and still pronounced it wrong.
Hey, Richie. Flatulus Maximus. I like that. Fits him. Yes, I meant to say on. Shut up. Stupid Windows. Why is this no longer justified? So what happened? Well, come on now. I hate it when it resets itself for no dang reason.
I still can't get the hang of using that.
Is it REINED or REIGNED for horse reins?
R-E, you might want to ask Miss Lene, but I think it's R-E-I-N. Because it's opposite of my last name.
It's REINS. I just Googled it.
Yeah, I was right.
Okay, what was the big Scottish guy's name?
What, Reagan's buddy?
Reagan's buddy.
Uh,
God dang it. I've got to start doing what I do with the other books and just having a notebook with everybody's names written down. I don't know why I didn't do it for this one, but
hang on.
it wasn't Angus, was it?
No, it wasn't Angus. Cormac. Was it not Cormac?
Cormac, yeah. God dang it.
That's good, Longwing. Auto mistake instead of autocorrect. Jeffro.
What's up, Jeff? Any bets on how long he's awake?
Have you got your bowl of noodles yet, Jeff? He's got that. I'll say 5 minutes.
Once he's ate the noodles, it's all.
Most of the time he doesn't finish the noodles.
That's true.
We love you, Jeffro.
Sorry, Jeff. Sorry you had a bad day, brother.
Thank you, Jeffro. Hope you liked it. Or hope you're liking it.
He's almost done listening to your new one. Awesome.
Yep. I think he listens to it while he's on the tractor a lot of times.
That's a good time to do it. I mean, you're just out, working in the field. Sometimes you gotta have something to keep your brain occupied. Isabel says, do people really say Roger on the air, on the radio? Sometimes. There's a lot of your old school guys that still do. We said copy and copy that mostly. What about you, Robby? What about your guys' radio protocol?
There's a lot of copy, but mostly it's 10-4, which is affirmative.
Yeah, we didn't use a lot of 10 codes.
Well, I mean, we use 10 codes, but there's still some plain talk that goes on. But for the most part, we use 10 codes. But the reason we do that is because there's a lot of people got scanners. So if we use plain talk, they'd know what we're up to.
Yeah. Well, that's why when we would discover like a body or something, we would still say J4 or something like, something along those lines. That way, the average church lady at home with her scanner didn't go, oh, a dead body.
Yeah.
But anybody with access to the internet could find out what J4 means pretty quick.
Yep. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate that.
What did you say? I missed it.
Yeah, he's loving it.
Says we lost 2 steers in the cold and my helper was sick. That's never good. K Bowers, 10-100 code 3. I've never had the 10-100 of code 3, but I've had the
10-200. This is code 3.
Yeah, 10-200 is the one you're racing like the devil to get your duty belt off.
As the Bandits famously said, he was taking a 10-100. Well, better than 10-200.
Yeah. Yeah, 10-100 is, you can just pull over the side of the road and do that, but nobody wants to drive by and see a deputy hanging it out on the side of the road, taking a crap in an emergency. That'll wind up on Facebook in a hurry, I can tell you.
Yeah, my dad told me back in the early 80s when he was on the road here in Pickens, they used to ride 2-man units.
Mm-hmm.
Him and his partner were riding around, and all of a sudden somebody keyed up on the radio and said, "You got to take a leak." And everybody just kind of froze. Nobody said anything. So they get back to the center later on that night and come to find out one of the other 2-man units that his partner told him, "Hey, pull over. I got to take a leak." Well, he thought he was picking up the PA mic and was going to key it up and say it over the PA, and he picked up the radio mic and said it over the open channel.
That's funny.
Yep.
My favorite is when somebody doesn't realize they've hot mic'd. I always love that because you can hear some weird conversations on a hot mic.
Yep.
Arlen says, I have software on my home computer called Dragon. You speak, it auto types what you say. I wanted the word one, and it gave me, never got it right. Yeah, that's why I had Dragon for a while. I've still got the softwares for somewhere. I don't remember exactly. It's probably in one of my boxes up in the closet. But it had the hardest time with my Ozarky and hillbilly accent.
Yeah.
There were words it just could not get.
I got it, tried it for about 30 minutes and was like, this ain't gonna work.
It takes it a while for it to learn your voice pattern. I give it that. I tried it for a couple of weeks, and I would still be like, you would see like it would be like it would type something like this, and I don't want to say this on the air, but it would type something like this. I got a lot of that with Dragon, so I stopped using it.
Oh, you get that word right.
Yeah. Oh, you got that one, you piece of crap. Yeah, that's why I quit using Dragon. Hopefully the newest generations of talk to type have gotten better, but I just haven't really leaned out of my comfort zone to make the expenditure to try it again. Because back when I got it, it was fairly pricey, and that's back when when the software was still fairly inexpensive.
Yeah, I got it when it was still on the CD-ROM.
That's what I added on.
I don't even think they make CD-ROMs much anymore, do they?
My tower doesn't even have a drive. There's no external, no drive that you can put a CD or a disc in whatsoever. I mean, you can buy externals that'll plug in, but most modern computers don't even come with one anymore. Everything's either done off a thumb drive or off the internet. Roxanne, yeah, it told me to train it, and like I said, I used it for a couple of weeks. It just freaked out on my hillbilly conversation skills. Ugh. Robbie, does that look right?
I want to say there might be an E at the end of it, but hold on. I've got Howl the Night Wolf here beside me. No, of course not. It's not. But
Of course, I'm gonna assume it's right until you find it otherwise.
give me a second.
I'm gonna keep typing while you look.
Yep, I'll be right back. Yep, add an E at the end of it.
All right. Then.
No, in AE. You were right. You just needed to add an E.
That's partially right.
Yeah, you just one letter off. All right. Well, I got it here now. So if we got any other questions, it's right here.
Okay.
Night, Miss Lene.
Good night, Miss Lene. Oh, it's a quarter till.
Yep. We've got a lot done.
Heck, we wrote. Shoot. Probably 7 or 8 pages.
We started on page 87 because there was 10. We put 10 pages on the chapter that we started in.
Yeah. So, yeah, we went pretty far. What was it, like 11, 12 pages?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we will stop it right here then. Whew, Lordy. Whew, ow. My shoulder's a little stiff.
I think that was a good session.
Heck yeah, it was. And hopefully I can add a bunch more to my other projects tonight.
Yep.
So, folks, what do you guys think? What do you guys think of the way the story's progressing? We wrapped up chapter 9 and easily put in half of chapter 10. So, pretty happy with that.
North Woods.
Right before our 20th anniversary, I was given a net crap. And we've been 33 years now. But right before our 20th, I was still with the sheriff's department. And she tells me, she goes, "Can you believe we've been married 20 years already?" And I said, 20 years? Good God, I could have killed you and been out of jail by now. She just rolled her eyes. It's like, "You're an idiot." I'm like, "Well, you married me, so which one of us is really the idiot?" So you knew that going in. I changed. I'm still the same idiot I always was. Tochi, thank you, man. Thank you, Arlen. Thanks, Nick. Oh, all right. Yeah, I'm happy. We got a lot of good work done tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lone Queen. So so next week we should at least finish chapter 10, probably get well into chapter 11. So for the rest of chapter 10, Regan and the boys are going to head into Caledonia. We need to figure out, one, how Regan realizes they went north, whether or not he finds tracks, but they've been gone for over a week, so the tracks might not be there. Robby, how long would the tracks of a cohort go? Not a cohort, of a legion marching north. How long will those tracks remain visible? Because that's a lot of men stomping on the ground.
It depends on, the weather at that time. Depends
Maybe
on,
Regan could find faded, barely discernible tracks where a large number of men went north.
If he's a really good tracker, there's still going to be sign there, but it's just a matter of how well it's going to be. If he's good at reading the sign, and let's say they've had decent weather and it hadn't been a whole lot of rain, or a lot of wind or whatever, like stuff like that, then it's possible and plausible that he could pick up faint signs and say, "It looks like."
I have a challenge for you, Robby. If I can show you how to make Microsoft Word visible from your screen, how about you write the rest of chapter 10?
You really want to make me do that? I have no trouble.
You can write the whole scene where he's reading the ground and.
Well, I mean, I can do that without having to type. You know how long we'll be here with my hunt circle and swoop method? It's just a slightly more advanced than the hunt and peck.
Thank you, Arlen. Are you sure?
I will give you all the information you need, but we will be here. It'll be our longest show ever if we're here waiting on you to type it.
They say on SpongeBob, 12 hours later. You type faster than that. You crank those books out pretty dang quick.
It wouldn't be the smooth, melodic ASMR of you typing like they would hear.
For a dude that types one finger at a time, you got 8 books out. So I'm not buying that.
Glad y'all believe in me. But
Lone Queen's got a point. Says the vegetation will probably show indications even with that much time, right? I can usually see cow sign for some time, and I'm no tracker.
It depends on the vegetation. I mean, because like grass will show for a pretty good while, but wind can reset the grass too. Rain can reset it. Now, obviously, things like broken branches and things like that'll stay. So that's what I'm saying. If Regan is a good enough tracker and the weather hasn't been extreme, then it's plausible for him to find some kind of signs. Like, obviously we don't need to make it where it's really obvious. It's something he's going to have to work for because they have been gone a week. But I would say that we can definitely make it a plausible scenario where he could look around and finally find enough sign to give him the indication. Hey, at least however many went this way, because that's going to be the thing is for him to determine that some people stayed here and some people left, so he doesn't think that.
Well, it's going to be northern England in mid to late March. So probably not any real bad weather extremes, just rain and maybe some light frost.
So I would say he probably looks on the ground a lot, a good bit, but stuff higher up is what we're going to have to kind of focus on, I would say, because a unit that big is going to, if it's moving through brush and things like that, it's going to leave sign, and that could go back you could work in that. Well, I showed you about how he can see a break and say, and he goes back and breaks on another limb further back to match up to see how long it's been, and he can say, this is over a week old. So obviously there was a big group of individuals that went this way, and he could find a bunch of breaks like that, and it wouldn't be fresh meat, obviously, but it would be. Yeah. He would have to look at it and determine that it's
happened a while ago.
Yeah, he can say this is at least a week old, judging by the how he would say it, but judging by the difference in color of this break versus what we just did. That would be the way I'd say the best way, because he could find, and then he could find some faint impressions that would kind of say, okay, yeah, these are pretty old, but they're going in the same direction.
Yeah, I think we can make it pretty realistically. And we're just going to hit our affiliates real quick. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time on it. Check out Doc over at Dark Angel Medical, darkangelmedical.com. Use Cryptid20 for 20% off your order. And then while you're at it, check out the good folks over at Scallywag Tactical. Use discount code DARoberts10 in the following link, link out right there to check out some pretty awesome blades. And after that, let's see if it's already up here. Yes, it is. Head on over to sigwoarms.com and get your Wild Hunt or Dark Frontiers custom upper or lower, whichever your choice, and let them know we sent you. Use discount code Bigfoot5 for 5% off your order, or let them know that you're a veteran or first responder, and they'll bump that up to 10%. Let's see. Also, Robby, since you's here anyway, let's hear about that new book one more time.
All right. Newest one I got out is Wild Hunt, Shadow Hunters, Project Manticore, and it picks up the exploits of the East Coast division of the Wild Hunt, and they're based on the Marine Corps MAGTF principle. They're a smaller, more like a QRF, which is a quick response force. They can get up and get mobilized and get moving a lot quicker than the Midwest division, because the Midwest division is massive. How many troops would you say are involved in the entire Midwest division of the Wild Hunt?
All the Midwest division, they've got 5 teams, and one of them being the international team, plus all the logistics. There's probably 2,500 to 3,000 just in the Midwest.
Yeah, so with the East Coast division, you're probably looking at
probably half that.
Yeah, maybe 1,000 if they're lucky, because you got 4 teams, but they're a lot smaller teams. But each one of those teams,
quick reaction forces. The Midwest covers from the Rocky Mountains to the Appalachians, so it's got the biggest chunk of land to cover.
Look at it this way: the Midwest, like he said, the Midwest covers the biggest part of the country. The East Coast division, a smaller unit, covers the East Coast, but any of the smaller divisions that need help, the Midwest division is the one that's going to send the help. So think of it that way, but it's not always feasible to mobilize such a big unit, especially in situations like this where it's a small little country off the in the Atlantic that you wouldn't want to roll in that big of a unit into something like that. So this is it's a smaller, sleeker task force, like I said, based on the Marine Corps MAGTF principle. And basically Rick's brother Lieutenant Colonel Jace Constance is the executive officer. He's think of him as like Clark's counterpart. DA had already come up with the unit commander, which is, I guess Gus would be Levi's counterpart, right?
Right.
Yeah. So Gus is Levi's.
No, Gus would be Boudreaux's counterpart.
Boudreaux? Okay. So, but with them being a smaller unit, it's just Gus and Jace versus where they've got a little bit more brass over at the Midwest unit. But anyway, so there's the Obora Society has been involved. They were behind the Chimera in Wyoming with Devil of Absarokas. They were behind the Sabertooths in Shadow Walkers, Terror of the Wampus Cat, and they're also behind the Minotaur in Avalon Rising. So these are things that they've been.
Did you mention the Chimera?
Yeah, that's the first one I said.
Okay.
Yeah, they were behind basically the way it goes is the Sabertooths were first. That was the baseline of the projects. Then that went into the Chimera.
And the up armored Bigfoots.
Yeah, the up armored Bigfoots, I guess, were probably sort of the second iteration of the Sabertooths. So yeah, they're in that book with the Chimera. So that's why I kind of forget them sometimes, because the Chimera kind of overshadows them
a little bit, yeah,
just a little bit. But yes, so look at it as the Sabertooths from Terror of the Wampus Cat were kind of the first iteration of like the dermal armor and things like that, and that translated up to the Bigfoots, and they were all that went into the Manticore. Then the Chimera. Then things from the Chimera went into the Minotaur in Avalon Rising, and then pretty much all of it's culminated into the Manticore in this project. So this was Project Manticore. So they go after it, and it's how'd you describe it when you first read about it? I think you said that thing's freaking terrifying or something.
Yeah, it is pretty freaking terrifying. However, when you get to Leviathan down, shockingly, the Ouroboros has nothing to do with the monster in that.
Well, they don't make it, but I guarantee you the stuff that they've been doing has led to it
waking up,
because that's their whole plan, or their whole thing is they're trying to bring about all this stuff. So that's what we're working on. We're working towards a big, as we've described it, a big Avengers Endgame style. Because what's coming in England is going to be as big as the thing in Leviathan Down, and it's going to be happening pretty much right on the heels of Leviathan Down. So there's a lot of big stuff happening and a lot of big things waking up, and there again, Ouroboros is not behind those big things either, but the meddling that they've been doing and the things that they've been doing are causing things, which, like I said, that's their whole game.
Toshi, the short answer to that is yes. Once the Ouroboros is dealt with, they'll go back to regular missions where they'll still deal with, not only folklore type creatures, but traditional cryptids like Bigfoot and stuff like that. Whereas the one I'm working on, the side project I've got going now, Hangman's Legacy, it's more of a supernatural threat than an actual cryptid or anything like that.
And Valley of Bones, which is I'm still be working on. That's not things that are going on.
By the strictest definition, they would qualify as a cryptid. Cryptids do encompass animals that were believed to have gone extinct.
Yep. So yes,
like the thylacine.
True, but the hunt has not got involved with this yet because Ouroboros' fingerprints are not on it yet. So,
don't want to give anything away.
Yep. and there's still stuff happening in Valgard too.
Yes, there is. Strange things are afoot at the Circle K.
Yep.
Yeah. So shout out if you guys recognize that quote. Isabel says the McKellen Mbembe might just show up.
Yeah.
Maybe not in what we're currently working on, but at least in some future. So I got to thinking about how you kind of took the East Coast teams and reworked it. If the Midwest divisions are the biggest, and the West Coast and then the Alaskan units, I'm thinking we need to put our heads together, probably drag Doc and maybe a couple other folks in, maybe some of the folks that were involved in creating the team, like Steve and a couple others I could name, and sit down and frame out the West Coast teams and the Alaskan teams. And I'm thinking, since you decided to go MagTaf with the East Coast teams, make the West Coast teams more of a mixture of Marine Force Recon, Navy SEALs, and the Alaskan teams straight up Army Rangers.
Yeah, well, I mean,
because that would be the biggest call up there, is they would need the Ranger skill sets up there.
Yeah, and you could bring in like the Mountain Division of the Marine Corps. For anybody that's non-Army Rangers, that would be perfect for them to be up there, because that would be what the terrain that they would deal with. And yeah, I think that's a really
there's a Ranger bat already up there, so it makes sense to build them off the Ranger model.
Yep, I 100% agree. I think that way you're kind of really hitting all. We're checking off all the boxes.
Exactly.
With them,
and if any one of those other three groups gets overwhelmed, Midwest sends a team.
Yeah, and that gives you 3 teams that are specialized, and then the Midwest that can do it all, but is bigger.
They look to the horizon, and here comes 9 Chinooks dangling mimic units. Like, oh.
So yeah, we're working on a lot of stuff, folks, behind the scenes, and we have these conversations all the time.
Yeah, we enjoy these conversations.
Yep, and y'all be ready. Doc's got a whole line of stuff that he's already, like, what, 6 chapters into his second book?
6 or 7 chapters into the second book, with detailed plans for, like, I think it's up to 6 so far.
6 or 7, yeah. I think he's kind of teetering back and forth on that number, because he don't know if he's going to split what he's talking into 2 books or make it one bigger book. But yeah, it's most all his stuff, I think, is going to be taking place in the Old West type stuff, or type era.
That's where Doc really enjoys. His knowledge really shines, because that's something he's always been fascinated with. So real quick, where do they get your books?
Get them at Amazon.com. And as soon as DA gets the website finished, it'll be available on the nightmarehunters.com.
Absolutely. We have the domain. I just got to get it put together.
And
the reason why it's taking so long, folks, is I suck at web design. Just straight up suck at web design. So it's an uphill battle. You want to give us a shameless plug to Lucas Books as well?
Yes. If y'all like the covers that DA and I've had on our past few books, they were all done by the very talented Luca T. Jacobs, who's been on the show several times, which we need to get her back on. But
definitely,
like DA said many times before, you could take her series and plop them right down in the middle of our universe, and they would fit. I mean, they would fit perfectly. She writes in the same genre that the 3 of us do. She sticks more to the law enforcement side of it than she does the military part of it. But we hit on those 2. So if you like our books, you'll really like hers. The Nicole Beretti series is phenomenal.
It's really good. Northwoods, we've got a lot of Air Force mixed in with the hunt. Well, of course, the choppers are all provided by the 160th SOAR, but all of their transport aircraft are Air Force. Yep, they have whole Air Force teams on loan. Plus, there's a lot of PJs mixed in with the Midwest Wild Hunt. Valkyrie's a PJ.
Yeah, and there's several Air Force crew chiefs in the East Coast Division.
So she says, not gonna lie, Lucas characters could really use the Wild Hunt and them as backup sometimes. But you know, that's the great thing about characters is you've got to put them in danger, a real credible danger, to to make the danger feel real. If you've got a character that just wades through everything and he's 14 foot tall and bulletproof, you don't really get that sense of truth, that sense of danger. And every once in a while, you just got to kill a main character to show you're willing to do it.
Yep. And there is also another Shadow Walkers project, because we ain't forgot about Miss Tina on Rick's daughter. She's probably going to be taking Rick's spot in the Shadow Walker series. Like Kirk is taking not his spot, but Kirk's coming in as the Gideon's bloodline has to be spread out.
Right. Northwoods. We already did that. Remember the guys out of was it Whiteman Air Force Base here in Missouri rearranged the topographical map of southern Arizona, if I recall.
Yep. That would be the Nightmare Hunter series, wouldn't it?
That would be the Nightmare Uncanny Valley. The U.S. Air Force came in and removed a grid square. Well, I suppose there's... What's that?
I was like, you still got another one of those coming out too, don't you?
Yeah, I'm about 20,000 words into it. I need to go back and rework it because some things have changed since I started writing it, and it needs to reflect in there. There's one other thing we need to talk about, and that would be my books. I would be remiss if I did not speak of such a thing. I'm trying to find I haven't seen the link pop up in a while. You and Luca keeps popping up, and mine rarely pops up. What's going on with that? I can't find it. I'm scrolling way back and ain't seen it once.
I thought
I saw the Patreon and my author page, but not the book. There's you and Luca again. Still haven't found mine. Sigwo, Dark Angel.
Well, Stream Elements just put it up.
Did it? Okay. Yeah. Okay, well, I can scroll back down now. Yeah. Okay. My most recent release is Dark Frontiers Devil of the Absarokas. Most of you have probably read it. It's available in Kindle, print, and audio, but you can find it on Amazon.com, where it was for a longest time number one new release. It's dropped to I think number 7 or 8 now. I'd have to look and see. But you can check it out along with all of my other entries into the field, which I've got about 36 other books that are currently in print for you guys to check out and enjoy. They're all available on Kindle, print, and audio formats. Some of them are available in hardback, but not all of them. I'm working on that. So you can check all of them out, like I said, on Amazon.com or daroberts.net. And hopefully someday soon, I will get nightmarehunters.com up and running as well. So hope you guys will check all those out, and hopefully you find something that you enjoy. And if you've already read them, go back through and read them again. Why not? A lot of folks I'm finding have not read Heart of Iron. I know it's a fantasy novel, but Heart of Iron does tie into the rest of the universe. In fact, so many people keep asking me, where does it get revealed that Will Grey Eagle is back? Well, it gets revealed in Heart of Iron. I was pretty proud of Heart of Iron. I thought that was a pretty strong book, but it wasn't as well received as I thought it would be. But hopefully you guys will check it out. It's my first entry into the fantasy series, but there are more coming. I mean, even if they're not my strongest sellers, I still enjoy writing them. So I will continue the Valgard series, and someone else might be continuing in the Valgard series as well. So look for more in that fantasy setting, and we will continue to expand that world.
Yep, there might be three chapters already into that series somewhere.
And watch for hopefully coming in the next few weeks. Watch for Codename Wild Hunt Leviathan Down. It's pretty epic a story in the telling. A lot of action in this one. I'm revealing some technology in it that has yet to be shown in the books, and I'm half expecting a phone call on some of it, but we'll see. I might have let the genie out of the bottle on a couple of things, but we'll see. You guys will have to read it and find out. But watch for it coming soon. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And I've got a new project in the works called Hangman's Legacy, which is set in, in the little town I lived in down in New Mexico. And sorry, getting choked. And I think you guys really enjoy it. It's like Walt Longmire meets Kolchak the Nightstalker. The monsters are real. And it's a small department, and the Union County Sheriff's Office, which is what it's based off of down in New Mexico, is a department of like 6 deputies covering 4,000 square miles. Union County's huge. That's a lot of land to cover, and the population of Union County, if you spread them out, you'd have about 1 person per square mile. The whole county's got a population of like 4,200. And the little town I lived in Clayton was less than 1,000, and it was the biggest town in the county. So it's a very remote, very ruggedly beautiful area, full of old Native American lore and historical tales and some really cool history. So I think you're really going to like it. And I like these new characters; they're a lot of fun. I've been super stoked about working on this project. So I think. As much as I love writing my other books, all of them are my favorites in their own way. I really enjoyed writing Dark Frontiers, but I think Hangman's Legacy is going to have a special place. This first book, not gonna fib to y'all. This first book's probably going to be twice the size of one of my normal novels. I'm anticipating it to come in north of 130,000 words. It's going to be a big book because the story is too big to tell in a small book. And this is because there's a lot here to introduce. There's the history, there's the land, there's all the brand new characters, there's the historical backstory that leads into this story. It's a big story. Think Larry McMurtry's Lonesome Dove. It's going to have some weight to it. It's a modern Western with supernatural elements, and I think you guys are really going to like it. So anyway, having said that, I don't want to keep Robby too terribly long because I know he's.
I'm off tomorrow, so.
Oh, you're off? Oh, okay. Woo. Okay, I was afraid I was going to keep Robby up because he normally gets up at 0:30.
I mean, I'll still be up that early, but I don't have to go into work. That's
always a plus. So, folks, thank you guys for hanging out with us. I'm really enjoying this story we're telling together. If you guys are new here, please hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that little bell icon to make sure you get informed anytime we go live. And if you want to, we would love to have you as part of the community here. And you can do that by, if you look down at the bottom of the chat box on the YouTube live, you'll see something that looks like a $sign. And if you click on that, you can join the channel through that, or leave a super chat or anything along those lines. So if you think we're doing a good job and you want to get this kind of content to continue, let us know. Let us know what you think. Join the family here, and we would love to have you as part of it. Or you can check out either Robby or my Patreon community and help build the books, because the Patreons get advanced looks at things like that and get some voice in how things are done. And I'm pretty happy with the Patreon community. It's a good group of people, and they've helped me a lot over the years. Jeff Yarrington says Declan is my favorite character. Well, if Declan's your favorite character, I think RC Sandoval is going to give Declan a run for his money. I really like RC. He is a great character. He's a lot of fun to write, and he's got that Walt Longmire grit to him, mixed in with a little bit of Darren McGavin's Kolchak smartassness. So I think you guys are really going to like RC. He's fun, and the background characters I'm building up around him are multi-layered. There's a lot of great characters that are being put in alongside him, and this story is going to be as much about dealing with the supernatural threat as it is about, redemption. It's about growth. It's about brotherhood and loyalty and bloodshed together. Uh, bonds forged under fire. So it's a big story, epic in the telling, and I really can't wait to share it with you guys. I think you guys are really going to like it. Arlen says the Widowmaker's #1. Well, RC may not give the Widowmaker a run when it comes to quick draw, but he's got grit. RC has definitely got grit. Roxanne says, yes, DA is great. Loving it. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Roxanne. Let's see. Brian Lagarde says CSM Hammond. A lot of people like CSM Hammond. He's fun. I like him. Wyatt says Clark and Declan probably tied as #1. I can't wait till y'all can meet RC. I think you guys are going to like RC. He's a character with a kind of a haunted background, and he's dealing with some things. We'll just put it that way. And yeah, I think you guys are going to become invested in this story. And I see Hangman's Legacy being a series that sticks around for a while. And I'm pretty sure that all of them will probably be bigger than my average books. I'm trying out some new things with this. I'm really stretching my legs with it, and I cannot wait to see what you guys think of it. Hey, Jeff, thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Wyatt, yes, it's got hints of Longmire to it. RC, if you took RC and plopped him down in a Longmire novel, he would fit right in. But there's more to it than that. You definitely will feel the Larry McMurtry slash Craig Johnson vibes, but you'll also get the God dang it, what's his name? I know it. Can't think of it. Tony Hillerman. If you guys haven't read any of Tony Hillerman's books, you really should. He's passed away now, and I hear his daughter is going to start writing books again. But he lived in New Mexico up until he passed away, and he wrote books that were set on the Navajo Res. If you guys watch Netflix, there's a series called Dark Skies on there, and that's based off Hillerman's books. Fantastic series. It's like Supernatural Longmire. It really is. But I think you guys are gonna really enjoy this new series. Hazel Monroe says Margolin's her favorite. A lot of people like that little idiot. He's fun, but you never know what he's going to say next. And even with me, I'm just as astounded as everybody else when Margolin pops off with a quip, and he's gotten some good ones so far in Leviathan Down. Robby, anything else you want to add?
No, I think we hit it all.
I think we covered it. We have different toasts we do here on the show on this one because it's a little more lighthearted. But before we hit the toast, I need to mention the 22 a Day Foundation. Got it right here on my shirt. I don't know if you can see it, but we lose 22 veterans a day to suicide, and that's 22 too many. Check on your friends and family who are first responders. Check on your friends and family who are veterans, no matter how they served or active duty. Let them know you're thinking about them. Let them know you care, because they shouldn't have to fight that PTSD alone. Reach out. Let them know you care. Let them know they've got somebody to turn to, and that they're not fighting these demons alone. And let's get 22 a day down to 0. But as we close her out, there's a, let me see if did I actually make it on the screen, or?
Yeah, I think you did. I think you did it last time.
Oh yeah. Okay. So Robby, you want to do the toast?
Sure. Like he said, it's different from last one, so you don't have to take your hat off or anything, but just raise a glass with us, no matter what you're drinking. And it goes like this: there are good ships and wooden ships and ships that sail the seas, but the best ships are friendships, and may they always be. Slanja, we'll see you next time. Thanks for being here.
Slanja.
means the winds are howling, saloon doors swinging, shadows growling. Three lawmen stand tough as rawhide. Yeah, Doc DA, nothing can abide. Whiskey shots and poker faces, staring down the darkest spaces in this town where legends roam. These boys bring justice, sending evil home. Cryptid lawmen, wild and free, hunting monsters for all to see. With silver bullets and grit of steel, they fight the darkness, make the demons squeal. From dusty canyons to moonlit plains, justice rides with wind and rains. Cryptid lawmen, a fearsome sight, standing tall against the endless night. Jed's a howler, claws of steel. Doc's a biter, makes the devil real. But DA's a shifty one, a shape-shifting soul. Can turn to anything, takes any form, takes control. Tonight the chupacabras come to town, sucking the life from all around. But these lawmen, they ain't afraid. They'll face the darkness unafraid. Cryptid lawmen, wild and free, hunting monsters for all to see. With silver bullets and grit of steel, they fight the darkness, make the demons squeal. From dusty canyons to moonlit plains, justice rides with wind and rains. Cryptid lawmen, a fearsome sight, standing tall against the endless night. Full moon rides, bat wings flap, the air grows cold, a chill and trap. But these lawmen, they're ready to fight underneath the pale moonlight. Jed and Doc transform with a howl. DA shifts, becomes a night owl. Together they stand, a force so strong against the evil right in the road. Cryptid lawmen, wild and free, hunting monsters for all to see. With silver bullets and grit of steel, they fight the darkness, make the demons squeal. From dusty canyons to moonlit plains, justice rides with wind and rains. Cryptid lawmen, a fearsome sight, standing tall against the endless night.